Hello, Mana here, and welcome to Just Open It Already. This is from a recent RPG Maker horror game jam with the theme Dark Streets. The plot simply reads, the locals of a small town live through normal nights while reality restores itself constantly because of an anomaly. And yeah, it is an RPG Maker game, but I think it's done in more of a visual novel style from what I could see from the screenshots, so yeah, I don't know, I just thought it had interesting style, and yeah, that's really about it. So I think we'll jump in. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for watching. Disclaimer. This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, business, places, events, locales, incidents, and other works mentioned in the story are either the products of the author's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual counterparts, real or fictional, or anything mentioned and not mentioned in the previous statement is purely coincidental, except for those in the references. This work also contains scenes with death, strong language, and violence. The audience is advised. Okie doke. Town, Channel 1. I want to go home. This intrusive thought is getting annoying. I'm already here. But my mind thinks otherwise, unfortunately. I still have this unpleasant sensation I'm still out there at work. These damned graveyard shifts distorted my perception of reality at this point. It's even strange looking outside the window from my apartment. The streets of this town don't feel right while being so full of life. I got used to seeing them during the night, that now they seem uncanny during the day. Living through the day hours feels like living a dream now. A dream from which I will wake up when the night will come again. I can only hope that the winter ends soon. I want to have more day hours for me. I want to enjoy this dream a bit longer. But for now, as the sun starts taking off, I can only go to sleep. My body and my mind need rest, otherwise the night will eat me alive. I want to go home already. Call in progress. Connection established. Dispatcher. Clanera Police Station here. How can I assist you? I made a terrible mistake. There's someone outside my house. Whoever they are, they have been following me for a while. But I thought that was just a coincidence, and now I'm really scared. What's your address, miss? Silent Road, number 47. My name is Barbara Red. My husband is not currently at home, and I'm alone here. Please send someone. We're sending help, Mrs. Red. Stay inside and remain calm. You said Silent Road number 47, is that correct? Yes, it is. I'm so sorry, I should have called you way before. Mrs. Red, can you provide any details about the person? No, I'm sorry. The creep has been following me inside a car and I couldn't see them properly. And it's harder, especially now that it's dark outside. What kind of car is the person in? A red car, I don't know the kind. It seems old though. Can you see what the suspect is doing? I'm really curious, why did she say she made a mistake and like, I'm sorry, I should have called you sooner, like it's... I don't know, there's something weird about that. Mrs. Red? The person isn't in the car anymore. Period of time not found. Restoration in progress. My bad. I'm very, very sorry about earlier. I usually make mistakes like that. I should have noticed that you saw me. I didn't want to leave as such a negative impression. Unfortunately, I can't fix that anymore. Too much time has passed since that moment. But I guess it doesn't matter anymore. We are together now. No, please. call the police as you plan to. Take your time. I'll be here for you anyway. Okay. Streets Channel 2. Despite making the streets look more natural to my eyes, the night was synonymous with pain to me. Whenever it was about my relationships with my colleagues and me doing my job. Stuff that would make me miserable for my mistakes. I get it, but I'm not a machine. Well, I'm human and I can reasonably do X. This is what my colleague next to me would say. What is my response to that? I'm not a subhuman either. I'm not a subhuman either, garbage of a human being. I'm not a rookie who came in yesterday and doesn't know how to open the zip of his pants. What kind of work are you doing? This guy may be older and have more years of experience on the job, but he's not my boss. Even if he had enough work for years to go into retirement, he could die for what I care. I would be glad to scream all night. I would be glad to scream all this right now. But I don't want to make this night more unbearable. And I already ended up last week with an intense conversation with him. As if staying together in this car wasn't awkward enough. I think I should call my sister when I get the chance. It has been a while since we got to talk. Her name is Barbara. She's a pretty kind person, but she's unfortunate to be very uncaring. I had to take care of her before she married. Unfortunately, her husband isn't good enough to keep her in line. He says that he doesn't want to make her feel oppressed or make her feel bad about her mistakes. But that's pretty pretentious. As if he knows what kind of problematic adult she grew into. I want to be sure to give her a better future in the end. You kind of remind me of her. Especially when she was in her teenage years. You have to understand that I'm here to teach you how to do things right. People in our position have an image to keep for the public, remember? I don't want people laughing behind my back. Especially if that's caused by someone who is too immature to respect his responsibilities. The tantrum of last week is something I don't want to see anymore. Remember who I am and who you are. What I'm asking is a bit of respect. Okay? Okay. Okay? Okay. Good. Be sure to avoid also doing that bullshit about the gun safety. I want to end this shift without problems, okay? Okay. What a way to break the ice and start the night officially. I hope to keep my cool for the rest of it as I just have done now. I want to go home. I hope this night passes through quickly. All in progress. Connection established. We received a call about a theft at Very's on Leicester Street number 4. The staff managed to block the thief, but be sure to remain cautious. Understood. We're on our way. I don't know what that thing on the right's meant to be. Is it just meant to be the symbol, or I don't know. Parking lot channel 3. Very's store was at the center of town, so it didn't take us long to get there. The parking lot was almost empty at that moment. The only car outside of ours that was there was an old red one. Despite the night out, oh wait, a red one. Despite the night hours, the shop could still take advantage of a decent client base. Especially one made up of workers like us. That have the misfortune of not seeing the light of day. Kinda hitting home with my schedule. I'm tired of being called at this place. At least they managed to get one this time. But I guess it could have gone worse. It could have been called for the usual person who died of a heart attack. Seeing as so many dead people in a short amount of time is terrifying. We should hurry. Okay, kiddo. Let's end this quickly. Store Channel 4. And yeah, by the way, I really like the presentation of this. I think it's really good. Good, you're finally here. Come in the office, we have him here. When we went straight up into the office, I was pleased to see a familiar face once again. I wish it had happened in a less awkward situation though. Oh, hello Merlo. Hi Mike. Is it him? Yep, straight up from the dark side of the streets. He was part of a small gang that stole some stuff. They acted as if they wanted to buy some beers in cans. Just straight up open them in front of our faces and run away to the exit. We managed to block only this one on the way out, unfortunately. The others even escaped with a car parked right outside of the store. Does he have an ID or any other document with him? No, he doesn't. He even refused to share any pieces of information. He likes to act if he doesn't know our language. As if we didn't hear him speaking it before the theft. Our cashier also told us that he visited the store during the previous nights. I wouldn't be surprised if he did that to inspect the place. I guess you have recorded some footage with the cameras, right? Yeah, both outside and inside. In this way you have better details about their looks and the car. I'll send to the police department's email as usual. How often does this happen? If I end up remembering some other useful detail, I'm going to mention them there. Sounds good enough. Well, I hope you're happy about your wrongdoings. You'll understand the gravity of that. Now turn around. Claudio handcuffs the guy and gives him a little pat on the back. Pat on the back. I can read. We're going to take care of this from here. Okay, maybe I can't. Thanks for the cooperation and have a good night. Thank you for coming. You too as well. Bye then. Bye. Okay, things are kind of weird, but mostly mundane so far. I don't know, it's got a weird feel to it. And so, one part of the job was done. Now we only have to escort this scum to the department. It was important to not underestimate the situation though. This guy could try to escape at any moment of distraction. That's why we were sure to be both his left and right sides while holding him by the arms. In the end, we managed to go back to where our car was without problems. Go inside and keep staying quiet. Merlo, you too. I want to bring this guy in before the end of the night. Or as you would say, we should hurry. Alright. And that's what we did. We left the parking lot empty just like how it was when we arrived there. I can't wait to see how exciting this night is going to be for me and my jolly partner. Apartment, Channel 5. Oh, did we skip Channel 4? Or did I misremember? After walking back into my apartment, I took a deep breath of relief. I managed to go through another night. But most importantly, I'm finally home. I think this is the right moment when I can feel a bit happy. Now I only have to put aside all the worries and try to enjoy the incoming hours. A very easy task, I would say. There is also to take into consideration that the incoming hours will pass through very fast. So fast that I won't even notice that. Damn, I love the thoughts that go through my mind during these moments of relaxation. I better change myself, take a shower, and eat something before I start edging further. Wait, what? Moving on. While I was on the point of eating my breakfast, breakfast. God damn it. While I was on the point of eating my breakfast, my phone started ringing. Oh, it's him again. Call in progress. Connection established. Hello, Mike. What's up? Hi, I'm a bit tired, but outside of that, I'm fine. All the adrenaline I accumulated during the last shift is running out. Seems normal. I hope that you didn't get stressed out too much by the whole situation. No, I'm gonna survive. It's not like it's the first time that some idiots came into my father's store. Mike is an old friend of mine. We don't spend time together as we used to, but doing some chit-chat on the phone remained a constant thing to do between us. Even at this early hour of the day. But especially after I was transferred to his town for work. That allowed us to even go out for a beer from time to time. A time to remember the good old times before reaching adulthood, I would add. He had been a lifesaver in distracting my mind from my usual intrusive thoughts. And I will never thank him enough for that. At least, I never have a reason to use the shotgun behind the counter. I know that my father wants to keep it accessible for us for self-defense, but I'm scared by the idea of actually using it. That's useful when you want to put a hole in someone, though. Yes? Yeah, very funny. You're a great comedian as usual. Speaking of funny stuff, did you like the game I recommended you? Hatred? That's the last thing I would describe as funny. Really? Don't you think that the protagonist is over the top, that he becomes ridiculous? Even the tone of the game is like that. Just look at the ending. Are you telling me that you find it serious? Well, first of all, I didn't finish it, so I don't know what the ending is supposed to be. Second, I get that this is a ridiculous tale of a murderous edgelord, but it's still a game about a mass shooter killing people. Even unarmed civilians. The glory kills were pretty disturbing on those. Yeah, I understand. I'm sorry I bothered you that much. No, don't worry, it's not a big deal. I don't have problems with fictitious violence, but I'm more comfortable when I don't have to play as someone that despicable. I hate moments like this. I wish I didn't make this conversation so awkward. I'm glad that Mike didn't shut the door on me, but I wish I could avoid this. In the end, I just want to have fun and relax a bit while having a nice talk. Next time I promise something to him, I'll suggest something less brutal. Oh. See, we might need to revisit the I can read part. Next time I propose something to him, I'll suggest something less brutal. So I'm like kind of curious, we haven't really seen much of the, like again, the original plot that's listed for this. The locals of a small town live through normal nights, we got that, but then while reality restores itself constantly because of an anomaly. Because we did have that one weird moment, but yeah, I don't know. The call continued for another few minutes before we saluted each other. Mike started yawning a lot during the last moments of the call, so it was for the better. He needs some deserving rest, and so do I. I just wish my mood was better right now. Do you want to save? Oh. Okay. I do. I like saves, but I don't trust it. Why are you telling me to save? Boss battle? That would be odd. Streets, Channel 2. The night came back really fast as expected. When I woke up earlier, I was greeted by it once again. Something dreadful, I would say. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a bit here. It wasn't dark when I woke up, but it was almost late afternoon, so the sun was ready to take off. Maybe I shouldn't force myself to stay awake too much in the morning. Otherwise this would be an inevitable... Oh my god. Otherwise this would be an inevitable... I don't know what that word is. Is that meant to be consequence? Maybe that G is meant to be a Q. Yeah, right? Otherwise this would be an inevitable consequence. Spending most of my free hours sleeping isn't something I'm looking forward to, even if my rotting body needs it. At least the night was peaceful this time. The streets were mostly empty and the silence reigned inside of them. And most importantly, I didn't have any displeasing partner to rule my mood. Claudio had to avoid work due to a relative's issue apparently. Glad to know there is still a god out there from time to time. There's nothing better than drinking some soda in the middle of the night. It's just a shame that it's not fresh. It would be 100 times better that way. Yeah, but I wish I could drink some coffee right now. I think that the quantity of caffeine in these cans should be enough to keep us active. So you shouldn't be worried, to be honest. No, don't get me wrong. It's fine, but I would rather drink something that doesn't risk corroding my teeth. Or causing some other health issues. Well, if you drink too much water, it's obvious you're going to be sick. It's all a question of moderation. And also keeping the hygiene of your teeth in check is important. I feel like you're downplaying it a bit. There are too many downsides to the worth the risks. I'm going to drink this stuff the least amount of time possible anyway. Maria is a colleague I had the fortune to establish a positive relationship with. She's a nice and caring person, but most importantly a patient one. Enough to deal with both me at my worst and also that agonizing viper called Claudio. I mean, Claudio hasn't actually seemed that bad yet. I don't know, he just kind of seemed serious maybe, but I don't know. She's on better terms with him though. But most importantly because she managed to gain some respect from him over the years. She's one of the few people I could relax with, especially during breaks like this. Getting some stuff from a vending machine wasn't the best option to drink something, but it was close to us, so it was a good way to not waste time. After we finished drinking, we received another call and returned back on duty. Between the different calls of that night, we continued to have some nice conversations. But as I feared, the situation with Claudio ended up being brought up. In the beginning, I thought that she would have been understanding about my side, but she didn't think that way at all. This has been going on for a while. I get where you come from, but if it continues like this, you might risk annoying the chief. So is Claudio then. I bet he didn't even mention anything to the chief about all of this. It's not like he doesn't know what kind of person Claudio is. I wouldn't be surprised if Claudio was scared to be fucked in the ass because of that. Merlo, if the chief knew about this, you wouldn't bet on anything right now. Because both of you would have met him again. Stop also keeping this tough persona as if you weren't afraid of him as well. And by the way, are you seriously going to act like you don't have some doubts about what you've done? What I have done is what I would expect by someone in my role. I admit that I make some mistakes from time to time, but I don't like it when someone puts a finger in my wounds. Whatever the rank, there is a way and a way to do things. And for what I care, respect is the last thing I'm going to give you if you act like an asshole. Did you have this same mentality before you transferred to our apartment? Does it matter? I want to remind you that I still have this job for a reason. I'm not that stupid to commit a career suicide. You're not going to do a good job of giving that impression right... Oh, you're not doing a good job of giving that impression right now. Very well. In this case, I want to only say one last thing before moving on. I'm getting a bit tired of this, and I bet you do too. Yeah. I recommend you keep in mind what I'm going to say. We are not machines, but we still have responsibilities in this reality. This is also something that goes beyond our job. There will always be the arsehole to make your actions seem worse than they are, or make you more miserable because of them. But at the end of the day, we have to move on. We can't let the suffering ruin that one life we have here. You can freely think that I'm silly to think like that. When you make mistakes, it's also important to not undermine them, even if they get pointed out by someone you dislike. Keep it always as a way to improve yourself. Take for example your habit of not putting the safety on your handgun. I get that you want to be ready for the worst situations, but what if this ends up hurting you or your colleague? I mean, yeah, that's a terrible idea, holy shit. Because like, I mean, I figure, it's like I could almost understand it, but like, wouldn't the smarter way to be like, to train yourself to be able to do it quick? I assume that's what police do, right? Like they're trained to be able to draw their gun and take the safety off immediately, like in action if they need to, obviously. I imagine, like, because sometimes they'd be drawing their gun and holding it and it wouldn't be offset. Or would they take it off? I don't know, actually. Because obviously, like, you don't have your finger on the trigger. But like, if a police officer draws their gun and their hand and their finger's like, you know, up above the trigger, like it's not on it, have they taken the safety off at that point so they can immediately hit the trigger if they need to? I assume so. I never really thought about it. Yeah. What if this ends up hurting you or your colleague? What if we had someone in the back and they tried to steal your handgun and shoot us? I might be a bit paranoid, but prevention should be taken into consideration always. What I'm trying to say is to be responsible about your actions. You can't erase them from this reality to get away from your mistakes. This reality won't fix itself around your doings like you were its mum's boy. Well, I don't know about that. I guess we'll see. Call in progress. Connection established. Oh, him again. Colonera police station here. How can... There's someone who killed my father and my colleague. Oh, shit. I'm at the Veries. For the love of God, send someone. The address is the same I gave you yesterday. Leicester Street, number 4. Please, be quick. I locked myself inside our office, but I'm afraid the killer could break in. Period of time not found. Restoration in progress. That's the thing, it's like, are we monitoring all of this? That's like with the channels, like, is that like what we're at? Like we're kind of sitting back here monitoring it all? Like we are playing the role of whoever is fixing reality? Emergency service here. What is your emergency? Oh, that symbol's changed. Wait, did that happen before? The first time? 'Cause I think the bottom part, but now it's like a heart thing. I wanted to report the death of 2 people. They might have died of a heart attack? I tried to do some CPR, but crying. I'm so sorry to hear that. Can you provide me with your address? It's Leicester Street, number 4. Thank you. Are you saying that 2 people suffered from a heart attack? Yeah. I was preparing myself to leave the store and then I found them both dead on the floor all of a sudden. Just like that. Actually, I'm not even sure if this was due to a heart attack or not. It's just happened so quickly without any concerning signs before that. I understand. Help is on the way. Is there someone around that can assist you at the moment? Hello, assistant manager. I'm glad you left the office open. I guess you didn't have any reason to close it this time. I'm very, very sorry to bring some bad news though. Your cashier was unprofessional towards me. He almost killed me with this toy. He picked it up from behind the counter and tried to blast me with it. Fortunately, my guts ended up on the floor and not my brain. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here complaining. Your manager was also a cunt about it. Even though I'm now new, like without scratches, that still hurt like hell. I expect a better behavior from your boss. Please. Do me a favor to not disappoint me like he did. Show me you can take responsibilities. Just like the shells of this shotgun. Okay, yeah, so like that happened before. Oh, church. Channel 6. So is that is the killer like the person restoring stuff? Like is he the anomaly? Like there weren't that many people at the funeral. Mike's mother wanted to be sure that it was going to be private, so that only the closest people could join to mourn the dead. Fortunately, I was one of those. It would have been dreadful for me if that wouldn't have been the case, but I don't blame her. She went through a lot during the last days and she just wants to give her last goodbye to her husband and to her son. Having too many eyes on her and what remains of them was just unpleasant for her. I couldn't believe it when I heard that Mike was dead. Everything happened during that night when I was patrolling with Maria. They were found lying on the floor without any sign of life by a client, including their cashier. All of them died from what seemed to have been a heart attack. Also, we never actually heard what happened to Barbara. All of them died from what seemed to have been a heart attack. I'm glad that another patrol was called to the scene. I wouldn't have been able to handle something like that, especially considering how close I was to Mike. This is so strange. We've gotten too many cases of heart attacks recently, and the victims didn't have any health issues that could explain the reason for those. This didn't seem to be a coincidence at this point, and rumors have started circulating. Some people spread the idea that this was the result of a virus or something like that, and even that the victims could have been on a hit list of an assassin. Or at least, these were the more logical rumors in my book. All the others devolved into paranormal shit that couldn't be taken seriously. The tragedy at Veries was odder though. 3 people at different ages dying in the same place and time for a heart attack. Seemed too much targeted. Maybe I'm just coping. No, that's weird. There isn't an invisible threat like that. Only a piece of shit of reality we all live in. One thing is for sure. This is another sad day. At least I'm here to give my last goodbyes to my only friend. Rest in peace, Mike. Yeah, I didn't realize oh, wait. Town, Channel 1. Oh, wait, that didn't click for me. I thought... Wait, does that mean... Wait. I thought Mike was the one who called. He's saying he died... Oh. Right, because when that text... I guess he died after that. That didn't click with me for a second there. Because I was thinking like, wait, I didn't think Mike died. Wait, Mike is the friend. And like, wait. Oh, okay. Sorry, it took me a second. But yeah, we still also don't know what happened to Barbara. I felt like shit. I couldn't sleep properly because of my mood. I even tried to go out for a walk to keep my mind occupied. It felt nice for a while, but then the thoughts about the recent events decided to come back. Especially the ones related to the rumors. It's made me so paranoid that I ended up running while going back to my apartment. A few days ago, I even had the impression that I was being followed while patrolling. That's definitely something that made my paranoia more and more prevalent. But despite that, I was still trying to keep myself together. Your mind is fucking with you. Don't pay attention to it. That's what I kept telling myself while lying on the bed. I reduced myself to a point where it was difficult to relax. I could just sleep or surf on my phone to keep myself distracted in some way. But I couldn't prevent the resurfacing of the recent memories. Not only about the loss of my dearest friend, but also of my actions in general. I was an asshole towards Maria during our last conversation. I shouldn't have acted like that, especially towards her. This behavior is going to cause me problems in the future again. That's for sure. I wish Mike was here right now. It would have been comforting to talk about that with him. I hate that our last conversation was so unpleasant. Why couldn't that have gone in a different way? This reality is just a straight path where we can't do jack shit other than keep walking. And walking. And walking. Until our last moments without having to say any on the matter. Oh, until our last moments without having any say on the matter. Apartment, Channel 5. The sun wasn't present in the sky anymore. That meant that the first shift of the week was coming. Unfortunately, I had the misfortune to wake up almost an hour earlier than I should have had. I was genuinely annoyed by it. I was also unsure if I wanted to keep going to work in this state. Maybe I could come out with some excuse about an unexistent fever. But even if I tried, I would have gone to work the next day probably. So it wasn't worth it in the end. Despite everything, I had to avoid making myself look bad in this scenario. All of a sudden my doorbell started ringing. Strange, I don't tend to have any visitors at this hour. While I was going towards the entrance, the doorbell kept ringing. Cut it out, I'm not deaf. The doorbell finally stopped. Before saying anything, I looked through the peephole to see who was on the other side. The person wasn't someone I knew. Despite making myself present in front of the door, they didn't end up saying a word. This was starting to piss me off. It wasn't the right time for these stupid pranks. What do you want? I can see you standing there like an idiot. I'm not in the mood for this bullshit. I'm very, very sorry, but I couldn't help myself from coming here. I wanted to talk with you a few days ago, but it was never the right time. You seemed a bit agitated recently. I hope I wasn't the one to scare you. If that's the case, that wasn't my intention. I tend to make mistakes like everyone, after all. I know that some rumors have been starting to circulate in town. I don't blame them for being paranoid, to be honest. Paranoia can be intoxicating for some. But it can be quite fascinating for others. Seeing it slowly grow and its effects is entertaining as hell. Especially when you're not at the center of the storm. Kind of. Exploiting a side effect of my capabilities is also quite intriguing. Normally I wouldn't do that, but I got tired of this reality. So I wanted to have fun and deviate from its straight path until the end. Do you know what I'm talking about? I hope so. Please open the door. I want to have a more in-depth chat about that. Oh, come on, don't be silly. Just open it already. You're going to come out anyway. You don't want to be late for work, do you? Period of time not found. Oh, and just for reference, when it goes to the red text, it's automatic. I'm not clicking through, just yeah. Restoration completed. Apartment, channel 5. After taking a shower and preparing myself, I was ready to go. But before putting my service gun inside the holster on my belt, I put the safety on it. Despite being in a paranoid mood, I wanted to be sure to not disappoint Maria. I didn't want to let my immature side take over again. I wasn't sure at first, but I got her point. I should be more careful to avoid mistakes that could end up being mortal. Damn. The time passes so fast. I hate having to go to work after all this time. Oh, wait, where am I? I'm adding words now. I hate to have to go to work after all this. But I guess that I have to move on somehow. Life is long after all, so one step at a time. After turning off the lights in my apartment, I opened the exit door. And once again, I couldn't wait to go back home. Let's hope this night ends fast for me. The end. Wait. What? What? For real? What's in references? Oh, okay. Wait, hatred. Is that? Oh, I haven't heard of that. I thought that was like maybe referencing that oh, I can't think what the game's called. It sounded like another game, a much it's an older one. Oh, I can't think of the name. Okay. Is that all? There's no scrolling or anything? Yeah, what is that? Was it a Rockstar game? It was quite old and it was like, it was very controversial. I thought I was talking about maybe that. Okay. I guess I'll just let the credits run. Yeah. Okay. I didn't expect that to end there. I feel like this has to continue, man. I don't think it's listed as a demo, but I don't know. Like, okay, let me collect my thoughts. Okay, yeah, so I guess that's it for just opening it already. I did check the page just to see if there was any. There's no real mention of it being a demo, but like, this feels like a demo, right? Or like chapter 1? Because it seemed weird getting the reference that, like the protagonist's sister was Barbara, and something clearly happened to her. But we never got confirmation, or he never heard about it. The protagonist never heard about it. It also does seem centered around him, right? In some way. His sister, his best friend, and now the Anomaly wants to chat, which I guess that's where the name of the thing comes. I'm just opening it already. Is when he comes to the door. But then we get that like restoration and he's not at the door anymore. So, but does he control that? Did he just want to say that at the door and then he did a restoration, or? Because I don't know, because the plot, again, originally, the locals of a small town live through normal nights while reality restores itself constantly because of an anomaly. But that anomaly does seem to be a straight up person in some way. But then there's also the kind of view that we have, which maybe that's just intended because we're watching it all, but I thought that was kind of like the Anomaly was doing that, like watching everything play out, but it's clearly like, or seems to be like an actual person. But maybe they're more than that. I mean, they can restore reality. We could be talking about a god or something. You know, it's kind of hard to say. But this is really cool. And also, like, when it restored reality, it changed. Because I did mix up. It had that, like, key looking bottom thingy and then the heart on top after the restoration. Whereas before that key, I don't know if I call it a key or it almost looks like the bottom of scissors or an old key or something. The two loops. That was at the top with wings at the bottom. And it changed to that bit at the bottom and then that wrapped heart with bandages on it, which was strange. Unless they were just two different departments, but it was both the patrol thing, so I'm pretty sure it changed. Yeah, but it was really cool. And the presentation, I feel like the actual art and presentation, this is awesome. I love seeing people do unique things with RPG Maker because I think it is honestly a really powerful engine. It's limited, but it's powerful in terms of what you can actually do with it. And I always like seeing people get creative with it. That's really cool. And yeah, it's overall really good. I think my only criticism is that it feels unsatisfying. It feels like I just started something that's going to be multiple chapters. So it's like, if this is chapter 1 or a prologue or a demo, awesome, 100% awesome, I'm in. If this is all it's ever going to be, oof. You know, like it definitely feels unsatisfying if this is it. But there's definitely like, I suppose, enough there to start theorizing and stuff, but it's just, yeah, so I don't know. It was made for a game jam, so obviously limitations, but you know, I said there's no mention of prologue or chapter 1 or anything like that on the main page, so I don't know, but I really, really hope it's continued. This is really cool. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought, and just thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Be well, and I'll see you in something else soon. Bye-bye.